Learning English can sometimes feel like you're standing at the base of this huge mountain and you have absolutely no idea which path to take. But what if you had a map, a clear, simple guide that shows you the way from the very bottom right to the peak? So, are you ready to start? Because this isn't just about memorizing a bunch of rules, it's a personal adventure. It's really a quest to unlock a whole new way of seeing the world. And just like any great quest, it all starts with that very first step. And this is that first step. We're not going to deal with vague tips today. No way. We are laying out a concrete roadmap, your personal guide to the milestones and the absolute best route to fluency. All right, let's dive in. Our first stop on this map is right where everyone starts, the foundation. We're talking about the beginner stage, and believe me, getting this part right is absolutely essential because everything you learn later on is going to be built right on top of this. So, what's the main goal here? Well, it's not about writing poetry or some complex essay, at least not yet. It's about survival. It's about building those fundamental blocks you need for basic communication. Learning how to order a coffee, ask for directions, and introduce yourself. It's all about that practical, everyday stuff. Okay, so how do you actually build that foundation? It all comes down to these three pillars. First, you've got to build a core vocabulary with the most useful words. Second, you master the basic grammar. Think of it as learning the rules of the road. And third, practice your pronunciation daily so people can understand all the great things you have to say. And let's make that even more concrete, right? This means focusing on common nouns and verbs like house or eat. It means getting the hang of the simple present tense, I go, you see. And it means getting comfortable with the English alphabet and its sounds, starting with simple greetings like hello and thank you. So, once you've laid that solid foundation, you're ready for the next leg of the journey. Let's move on to the intermediate stage. This is where things get really exciting, because this is where you start to build real, actual confidence. Now, the goal here is a major leap. You're shifting from just putting together simple sentences like, the weather is nice, to actually sustaining a meaningful back-and-forth conversation. You can start sharing opinions, asking follow-up questions, and even telling short stories. Your strategy has to evolve too. Of course, you're going to keep expanding your vocabulary. You'll learn to connect your ideas. You'll increase your immersion. And then there's maybe the most important step of all, embracing your mistakes. I really want you to see them not as failures, but as proof that you're actually growing. So the crucial point here is that your focus shifts to tools for more complex thoughts. You'll master connecting words to link your ideas together. You'll use past and future tenses to tell stories, and you'll start immersing yourself in English language shows to hear how it all comes together in real life. Now, check this out. What's so interesting here is how clearly it shows the jump from intermediate to advanced. An intermediate speaker can get the information across clearly. The movie was good. Hey, it works. But an advanced speaker? They convey nuance, in detail. The film had its moments, though the pacing felt a bit uneven. You see that difference? It's all about adding layers, texture, and your own specific point of view. And that perfectly illustrates the path to our final destination on the map, achieving fluency in the advanced stage. This is the final ascent, the part of the journey where you polish your skills and truly begin to master all the subtleties of the language. At this level, your goal shifts towards true mastery. It's about understanding what's between the lines, the sarcasm, the humor, all the cultural references that make communication so rich. It's about using idioms and complex sentences so naturally that they just become part of your own voice. So how do you get there? Well, by focusing on three really high-level areas. First, mastering idiomatic expressions. Those common phrases that just don't make literal sense. Second, deepening your understanding of cultural context. And third, relentlessly refining your writing and speaking to be more precise, more powerful, and way more persuasive. This means you're now actively looking for challenges. You're learning the latest slang, you're debating complex ideas about politics or science, and you're reading difficult texts. Some learners even work on reducing their accent at this point. This is where you truly make the English language your own. So, from beginner to intermediate to advanced, we've followed the entire roadmap. We've seen the path from laying the very first stone of your foundation all the way to building a skyscraper of fluent communication. But you know what? The journey doesn't just stop when you reach the peak. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? Even native speakers are constantly learning new words and new phrases. The real joy isn't in reaching some imaginary finish line, but it's in the continuous, lifelong process of discovery and connection that language gives us.
And that brings us to the final and most important question. After seeing this map all laid out, the stages, the goals, the focus areas, I want you to really ask yourself, where are you right now? And even more importantly, what's your very next step? So where on this roadmap will you begin?